My name is Daniella Russell Harper. My cancer is breast cancer. I think it's negative. It keeps swapping between negative and positive. And I am from England originally, but I live in Dubai in the Middle East. When I first was diagnosed in 2012 with breast cancer, I had a lumpectomy. And for the following 4 years, I managed to keep it under control. I didn't take any other conventional treatment, just the lumpectomy. In 2016, I was re-diagnosed, and that's when the HR2 changed from a negative to a positive. So it was quite prolific across my chest, my one breast, the right breast. Actually, that's when I came to Verita for the first time in January 2017. It was Dr. Hossami that identified that it had actually gone into my bones as well. In those next 7 weeks, he treated me impeccably with the Verita team, who are amazing. They managed to put me into remission, and that was for the next 4 years. Last year, I contracted COVID. Once I'd healed from it, I wasn't particularly sick. I had a bit of a cough, a little bit of COVID symptoms, but nothing major, except afterwards I had complete brain fog, and the inflammation in my body was absolutely awful. Now, up until that point, I was having regular scans and I was constantly clear and was still in remission with cancer. However, once I got the COVID, I started to feel like something was going wrong. My body was inflamed, I couldn't get rid of it, I was concerned. I contacted Dr. Hossami. I have a clinic that I go to in Dubai who liaise with Dr. Hossami, who helped treat me. And because of the travel restrictions and everything that was going on, getting here was quite difficult at the time. We managed it as best as possible, got rid of the brain fog, which was a relief, but the inflammation was still quite high, and we managed to detect that. So I had an MRI scan which showed that there was a slight agitation within the breast, but it wasn't very strong. So we carried on treating it, again waiting. Fortunately, the deadline for Thailand was November the 1st, so we managed to finally get some paperwork done, by which time I really did feel things was stepping up a bit. The inflammation hadn't ceased too much, and I had a PET scan back in Dubai. And this showed that a lymph node in my left armpit and possibly back in my bones, the cancer was beginning to re-emerge. So quickly came to Thailand once more, to Verita Clinic. The first 6 weeks protocol was good, but we were struggling. My antibodies with the COVID were quite strong. We really did need to get those down, I felt. Now, this is a very personal belief, so I don't want to say it is a COVID situation, but for me, I felt the drastic change had happened within that time. So Dr. Hossami's first protocol was not working quite as quickly or as effectively as he would have liked. So after the next PET scan, we noticed that there was still quite an agitation in the 3 spots. So Dr. Hossami changed the protocol. That really shifted it. So whether the first protocol sort of fired it up ready to be attacked, the second protocol that he chose has been amazing. Everything is really disappearing. I won't have another PET scan yet because that's been a few too many in a short period of time, but I have a protocol to go home with. We've already noticed a big change. When you have cancer, I believe when you're on a journey with Verita Life, you learn so much about your body and how to recognize what's working and what isn't, that I know I'm definitely on the home run. These days, if you're diagnosed with cancer, it's incredibly difficult because we are used to conventional treatments, and that means going through the normal system, which are incredibly powerful and very good if that suits you. I've always found that conventional treatments scared me. I never felt in my instincts that that was the right path for me, because even with the treatments that I have at Verita, where they look after me, I can see where it depletes my energies. But taking the strong treatments of conventional medicine, as much as I look strong, I don't know if I would manage it. The life that you lead is also absolutely crucial. When you're going through a condition that tends to terrify you, you need support, you need care and attention, and you need to be rebuilding. And unfortunately for me, I don't see that in conventional medicine. So having come to Verita Life, Dr. Hossami and his team, everyone from the nurses to the admin, to the reception, to the care workers that all look after us, there is a huge cocoon of protection and healing that goes on with a balance of integrated medicine, of conventional treatment, but supported with a lot of natural ingredients that reboost the body and heal at all times. Now, to get that balance is very, very unique. Unfortunately, there's not many places. Then there's only one Dr. Hossami, and it seems like there's only one team. We have great respect for everyone at Verita Life. Dr. Hossami, obviously number one, because he puts his life and soul into finding the right protocols. Cancer can be a very scary condition because you can be diagnosed 1 minute, and especially with COVID, with the time being separated from normal acknowledgement of conditions, those months of not being checked upon. And that's where we need to be able to have centres like this that will actually diagnose quickly and respond fast. So I owe my life to Verita Life. Thank you for having me here and looking after me. I think with patients, when they get diagnosed, there's an instant fear, because when someone tells you that your life is in balance of many things, you don't quite know what to do and you will listen. But I would always highly recommend a second opinion, because it's important that you have the feeling that you are getting the same story from everybody. If it's possible to get a PET scan, because the PET scan is a much more defined recognition of where the cancer could be. For instance, when I was first diagnosed with breast cancer, no one picked up on the fact that I had bone cancer as well, because they didn't do a PET scan, they just did a mammogram. So had I been treated just for one thing, I don't know what would have happened with the bone cancer. So I do believe getting second opinions, getting a PET scan, and if your belief is to look at more of a natural support mechanism, if you're prepared to even just take the conventional medicine and go to the cancer coach that Dr. Hossami has, which is on his website, which can support you and create protocols that can be supplemented alongside your conventional treatment. So you've got two options if it's not a possibility to come to Verita Life. You've got other options that can keep you guided, supported, and repairing your body through treatments. So I think second opinion is a must, a full diagnosis, and look at other support mechanisms, not just one path. The one thing I really felt with Verita Life is you're actually sitting in a group. So you get to know your neighbour patients. That means we all give each other huge support. When someone's having a bad day, which invariably you do, the rest of us can pick you up. That creates like a little family, because a lot of us are away from our families. We can't all bring our families here. It gets a little expensive, or it's not feasible. So the support mechanism is incredible and extremely important. Within Verita, you come to a family. You don't come to a medical clinic as such. As much as all the medical goes on, your day-to-day is supported by an incredible team. Maybe even when you're doing your consultations, you've got a support care worker behind the scenes that helps organise your journey here, prepares you for everything, sorts out where you might stay, how you'll get in and out of the clinic, everything. Dr. Hossami has his consultations with you to make sure you're feeling secure and safe about your journey when you're coming here. And then on arrival, you get either somebody collects you from your place of stay that brings you to the clinic so you're safe. Then the team awaits you and you're assigned one of the most incredible frontline desk operators who do everything from hold your hand to organise your tickets, to make sure you're okay, to make sure your food is all right. So everything is taken care of. Then a stream of nurses and doctors look after you. Each day they welcome you like one of your family. They prepare you, set you up. Anytime you don't feel particularly well, they're there within seconds. Then you're supplied the most incredible food, prepared on site, organic, fresh, not always to the perfect liking, but you've got to break away from the old habits and start into new habits of good, healthy food. But it's very beautifully prepared and everything is at your fingertips. You're looked after by a complete team. And that's very unique. You won't find that in any conventional hospital. There'll be a lot of support, but they're a busy team. And here, they always make sure you're the number one.